today. Another week of streaming, another week of Bitcoin doing madness. You've seen the headline, you've seen the thumbnail. Obviously, I'm thinking that Bitcoin's going to go up today. We're going to talk about TA. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to talk about the rest of the market too. But mainly, I want to show you guys some things on Bitcoin today, and I'm pretty excited for what we're seeing. It's always good to see Bitcoin going up a little bit. Let's have a quick look at the chat just to see who's around. So a quick shout out to Elizabeth, Brown Hulk, Derry, Hagen Loft, and Hafuel. Always good to see you guys, regulars. Appreciate you all, and let's kick it off straight away. Let's go straight into Bitcoin. Let's share the screen. Hassan, thank you very much for the lovely comment. Appreciate that. So here we go. There we go. Okie dokie. So look, let's talk about Bitcoin. We spoke about Bitcoin yesterday. A lot of people were going short yesterday on Bitcoin, right? We weren't going short though. We had some long ideas. We had some pretty decent long ideas. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. There's a few charts to look at for Bitcoin today, all right? We made a couple of charts. So the first chart that we have here is a couple of weeks ago. I think it might have even, or a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. We did a breakdown of Bitcoin, right? That's what we did. We did an entire breakdown of Bitcoin. It was like an hour long on just TA. And we spoke about, the ranges that Bitcoin used to be in, the range that it formed at the top. We spoke about the levels that Bitcoin could hold, or the macro levels that we need to pay attention to. And this was the chart that we found, all right? Now, a few things to pay attention to, all right? Number one, the first thing that we need to pay attention to is this 2017 range high here, okay? Now, this 2017 range high was the high that held the market from 2017 all the way up until 2020 December. So pretty much January 2021, okay? Now, we've come back, we've pushed into the range. Look at this blue box here that I've sort of drawn here. We've pushed into the range. After pushing into the range, what have we done? It looks as though we're getting back above. Now, this is not confirmation yet. This is not confirmation. Confirmation would be like this. Confirmation would be like this. We'd have to get above this blue level and hold, and then we can push here, and then we can push here, and so forth. So that's the confirmation. However, we're not going to be looking at that for now. For now, we're keeping our target small. We're keeping our target short, and we're playing the market for what it is. This is the weekly time frame, so we're going to see a lot of things on the weekly time frame. But all that's important for me from this chart is the 2017 high. We bounced off it, and we are back above that range high, that crucial range high. Okay, it's a very crucial level, something that we need to pay attention to. So yes, we could go lower. We could end up doing something like this before we come back up. That's very possible. I don't think we're going to do that just yet. Let's dig into why I don't think it's going to do that. All right. So if we move down now to the daily, what have we done here? Yeah, we get the same chart, but just from a different perspective. All right, daily, we're starting to see it more clearly now, aren't we? So we're starting to see that we deviated below, we closed below, closed straight back above. You see that? Closed below, instant push up back above. Came back below it, and now we're back above it again. So why? You've got to ask yourself why. Why would it do that? Why is it going back into the range? Why is it breaking above range high again? Some people are saying it's redistribution. I appreciate that, but we're going to play the market for what it is. So what have we got here? Look what we have here. Just from this chart, we're going to go over 2 more Bitcoin charts as well. So if we take a little trend line here, something like this maybe, what does it look like we're doing here? And how do we plan this for a trade? Here is a possible trade plan right here. Something like this. So notice how we deviated the 2017 high. We got back above. We've got a trend line here. If we can get above this trend line and retest it, we're back above the high, and we've got a beautiful, beautiful long scenario. And where's our target? Around the 22,500 level, which is a pretty much 20 to 25% move for Bitcoin. 22.5% move for Bitcoin. Amazing. All right. Now we'll look at the same perspective from our normal chart that we use. This is the normal chart that we use. All right. This is the messy chart. This is the chart that we use that has all the all the little levels that we like to use. All right, this is the chart that I actually take my trade off, and I'm targeting these highs here. So this green level here that you're seeing is the Monday's low from 3 weeks ago. Monday's low, yeah. And the green level above is Monday's high. Now, the reason I've kept that there, a lot of people, what they tend to do is they like to use Monday's range for the week that the Monday's in, right? But I've kept that Monday there. I've kept this range there because it's respected, hasn't it? We've made the up move that pushed the market down right here. And since we've done that, we've stayed below it. We've not been able to break it. Now, interestingly enough, on this chart here, we're starting to see a bit of a different pattern here. Look at this. On this trend line here, we're starting to break above, aren't we? We're starting to push above. Now, this red line here, for those of you who have been watching the streams daily, you guys will know that anything between this Monday's low and this red line here, I don't like to trade that. That's very choppy price action, okay? If you've been keeping up with the stream, you'll know, okay? If you don't know, go back to the previous episode. Let me just put this like this so it's easier for you guys. Now, interestingly enough, whilst we're looking at this from this perspective, we can see that this blue box here was the support that we wanted to tap into. We tapped into that support. We made a higher low off that support. Now it looks like we're breaking this trend line. So what am I looking for? What are the plans that I could look for to unfold if I was to long Bitcoin? So just from this chart alone, and I'm going to use one more chart as an example in a minute, something like this, and that's your confirmation. Right here is your confirmation, okay? So here is your confirmation above this Monday's low, because we don't want to trade inside of this. We don't want to trade inside here. Okay, here is where you can get pretty much chopped. Okay, welcome back to the stream, Gul. It's good to see you again. Merhaba, always good to see you. Always good to see you. I love my regulars. My regulars are the guys and the girls. All right. Now, the third chart for Bitcoin that I want to look at is the FTX chart that we used the other day. We plotted a range out, didn't we? And let's look to see what's happening here. Stupid trading view. So this was the range that we plotted out, all right? Range high being 23K, pretty much 22.9. We should probably lower this range high a little bit, but it's okay, it's okay. Even if we did lower the range high, it doesn't change the narrative, all right? Now, if we've got a range high here and we've got a range low there, we've come to the range low, we've made a higher low at the 25%, and now we're holding above the mid-range. So we asked ourselves yesterday, we said, is this going to be a deviation? Is this the deviation we're looking for right here? You see, like this, and now like this. Is that the deviation that we're looking for? And you know what? I'm starting to get the picture. I'm starting to get the idea that it actually is. Now, certain time frames aren't going to look great. The 4 hour here, are we holding? It's hard to tell here. It's hard to tell here if we're holding. However, since we're above the mid-range, there are a few ways to look at this. The first way to look at this is, well, now that we're above the mid-range, right? If we invert it, it might be easier to look. This is the upside down chart for Bitcoin, all right? If we are now at the mid-range, then what do we not want to see? Well, number one, we don't want this level to break. Number two, we already have our invalidation, which is here, okay? That's the main invalidation. You could use a stop loss here if you wanted to, but you'd have to accept that you have more chance of being stopped out here than here. This is a probabilities game, all right? Now, although you could put your stop loss here, here is the hard stop, all right? So you could keep a small stop here and a hard stop here. Really and truly, what traders should be saying, the safest options here would be the stop loss would be here and the hard stop would be here, okay? I'm sure you guys understand why. That is where the lows were formed. That's where the lows were printed. That's what the market's giving us. Therefore, that's what we have to use. Okay? However, you could put a stop loss here. Why? Because we don't want to get below the mid-range again. So if we, as an example, if we take this low that was formed here, okay? Notice it's the classic over-under pattern, isn't it? Where you've got choppy price action. You've got all this price action here. All right? Deviation, get back below, retest, and now we're starting to turn, okay? So what we want to see is we want to see something along the lines of that, and that wouldn't be that wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary. All right, we've got a deviation here. We want to just see it push back into this resistance here. Ultimately, if we can get below this here, we'll push and we'll target these highs right here, as we've been looking for since the beginning of this move. Okay, so I'm sure everybody here understands that. A quick shout out to my sponsor, Prime XBT. This episode is sponsored by Prime XBT. The link is in the description below. If you like my content and if you're enjoying my content and you want to get involved in trading as well, you can use the link below to sign up to Prime XBT. There were a few winners for the giveaway today. So, you know what? A massive shout out to the winners of the giveaway that I did for 2K subscribers. The winners won $100 USDT or USDC, whichever I sent, I'm not sure, and a $100 Prime code. All right. So using that Prime code, if you sign up using my link, the code Trader NJ, you can utilize that $100 code and the $100 that I sent you, and you can trade using Prime XBT. Going back here, Prime XBT, solid platform. It's a platform that's being used by a lot of traders, a lot of volume. You can trade, I think you can even trade FX on Prime XBT. So if you guys have any sort of time, or if you guys want to check it out, or even if you guys want to sign up and not deposit anything, but just sign up and look through the platform, feel free to go ahead and do that using the code TraderNJ below, using the code in the description below, TraderNJ. You can see the code right here in the banner as well, primexbt.com, TraderNJ. If you deposit up to $7,000, you can get up to $7,000 in deposit bonuses. So look, big support to Prime. Prime is sponsoring the show. They're helping us out. They're supporting us grow. So let's show them some love and support them back. All right, let's move back onto Bitcoin. So again, like I was saying, so it's pretty much similar to the over-under pattern that we're used to seeing. Here's the deviation here. We want to see it hold. Now look, could we do something like this? It is possible. However, I don't really want us to break the mid-range now, other than that I will be looking for this as a setup as well. So we've got the low and the low. So do you guys know about head and shoulders? Right? This is a head and shoulders, isn't it? You've got the left shoulder, you've got the head, and you've got the right shoulder here. So this is another possible plan. And that's how we play the game. We mark out as many scenarios as possible. We mark out as many plans as possible, and then we follow. We narrow down those plans. So out of the 10 plans that we have, we will pick maybe one or two plans that might actually follow through, and we watch the chart for those plans. If those plans alert, we know we're in the right position and we can follow the plan, follow the long. So look, I bought some Bitcoin. I bought some TRX as well the other day. Obviously, I'm a trader. I could be wrong, but that's what I think is going to happen. Obviously, as always, this is not financial advice. So make sure if you're watching these streams, you're watching these streams to learn, educational only. If you do decide to take the trades, not the trains. If you do decide to take the trades, it is at your own peril. All right. Trading is a tough game. I learned the hard way in terms of trading. So I hope that all of you guys are managing your risk. But another thing to look at is if we look at this this part here, the mid range and the sort of 75% of the range, what do we see here? Now this block here between 20k and 21.6, this block here is a very choppy block. However, it doesn't mean that we can't trade it. Okay, if we've broken into this box now, could this not be a range in itself? From here to sort of here, is that not a range in itself right there? Yeah. Now we've broken into the range low. Let's look for a push into the range high. And if we break above these highs here, we can look for a push up into here. We've been nailing it so far on these streams. All right. The last 2 weeks have been very, very good to us on the NJ show. The plans have been following through. It's not going to be like that every single week, but if you're one of the people that are watching these streams and you're marking out the levels that I'm using, then you're doing good. The plans have been following through. Now, another thing I want to show you guys very, very quickly is Monday's range. Okay, so if I can find a clean chart of Bitcoin, I will show you. Let's see if we can use Coinbase. Have I got anything for Coinbase there? No, I'm marking out liquidity gaps right there from the old days. All right, there we go. Right, so if we look at this, yeah, there's another thing I want to show you guys just for confluence as to why I think that we're going to get a little push up over the next couple of days. So if we take this chart here, we have Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Let's draw this. So if we look here, we've got Monday's high here. In fact, there's a better way to do this. There's a better way to do this. So if I take Monday's high here and I drag it to Monday's low, we do that. Now if we go into the hourly, this is Monday's range, okay? This is Monday's range, the new Monday's range. And what are we seeing here for the new Monday's range, okay? Well, we see a range low. We've come all the way up to the range highs. We've retested it as a higher low, okay? So we've got the low, higher low. We've made a higher high, higher low. And now we've broken above Monday's range. We've broken above the range high for Monday's range. So if we use Monday's range as an example, we've got Monday's high that's there and we're holding above it, okay? Similarly, if we use the range that we were using for the what have I done here? There we go. We're holding above it. Now, if we look at the FTX chart for Bitcoin, not only are we holding Monday's, what is this? There we go. Not only are we holding above Monday's range, Monday's high, it puts us above the mid-range, doesn't it? Look at these lows here. Look how we found support here. Look what happened when we retested here. Every single time we did, we pushed up to these 75% right here, didn't we? Okay, so it adds confluence. There's lots and lots of confluence as to why I've taken a small long on Bitcoin. Now, if we look at the bearish scenario, the bearish scenario is pretty much this, okay? If we break below the mid-range, I'm going to be looking at around here first, okay? This consolidation here, for me, has to hold. This area here, this circle here, so for those of you who are sort of paying attention thoughtfully, this consolidation here is the one that has to hold. And that's why I've marked this blue line out here. Because if we push below, if we start pushing back down, I want this area here to hold. I want this to be a retest. I want to see something along the lines of this. Push back up into here for TP1. And then once we get above here, finally we can push into here. And finally we can start pushing into here. That would be the trend line there. And then we can see, you know, what we're going to do. Are we going to push above here and start pushing up? Or is this going to be the range and we're going to push all the way back down here? That's the way that I'm going to play it. Well, it would be something like this. Okay? I certainly hope that you guys understand that. Let me bring it here. Make sense, guys? Make sense? Is everybody on board? No problem, bro. No problem, Dang. Always good to have you on the show, mate. Hopefully everybody's on board and hopefully everybody understands my thoughts and my plans, etc., etc., etc. So let me do this. It's interesting, isn't it, how we have a chart, all of these candles, and then we find all of these plans. So that is pretty much Bitcoin wrapped up in 20 minutes, all of my plans, why I've decided to go long on Bitcoin, why I think there's a little pump incoming. And if you guys watch the first 20 minutes over and over again, it will start making sense. All right, crystal clear. And yes, amazing. If you guys are enjoying the content, please make sure you're liking the content. If you're not subscribed to the channel, if you feel like you've learned something, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really does help out the channel algorithms and stuff like that. It gets it going and whatnot. It will help support the stream going forward. It helps me bring more content for you guys. All right. So moving on, let's move on. All right. Well, let's have a quick look at the market. That's 20 minutes of Bitcoin done. There's no point looking at Ethereum because it's pretty much going to be the same thing, isn't it? And Bitcoin is moving the same as Ethereum is today. Ethereum is 4.1% up. It's moving the same. Let's have a look at this. We've got a very quick question. Do you think that we will retest 19,800 to 19,700 levels before we go to the top of the range? So let's have a quick look. So 1700. So look, the mid-range here falls in at 20,286. Okay. And the range, the 25% of the range falls in at around 1900. Okay. So 19,800, that's going to be something like, are you talking about potentially Monday's range? Hold on. So where was the Bitcoin chart that we did? Let's go to Coinbase very quickly. So look, honestly, the 19,800 that you're probably referring to is probably going to be Monday's mid-range, all right? And that falls in that 19,700, not 1980, not 19,800. So if you're saying something along the lines of this and then push back up, I'm not ruling it out. I'm not ruling it out, but then you've got to remember that we've got a trend line here. We've got sort of a parabolic curve here, okay? If we was to retest Monday's mid-range, then it would kind of be looking like a short, wouldn't it? I would say that we're probably going to go back to range lows, take out this high, take out this low, take out this low, take out this low, and then ultimately take out these lows here. It wouldn't look safe. Okay. So like I said before, that this consolidation here has to hold. The most I would want it to come back to is probably around here, sort of 20,000, which is pretty much what you were saying. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. But it would have to hold. It would have to hold. Okay, that consolidation is very, very important. Okay, I feel like I've just gone and repeated myself all over again. But anyway, yes, we don't want it to lose the mid-range. Sam says, do you always play range to range? No chart indicators, EMAs, etc. So look, you've got to ask yourself here, a little tip and trick for you guys. Where does indicators come from? Where do indicators come from? For you to make an indicator, what do you use to make the indicator? It comes from price action. Price action and ranges are the oldest and most traditional styles of trading. Okay. In the past, there was never ever, there wasn't even computers in the past back when people were trading. People were going to the stock exchange. They had these little pieces of paper where it would say buy and sell, and they would be waving it in the air saying, I'll buy 100 of those, I'll buy 200 of those, I'll buy 100 stocks of those, I'll buy 100 shares of those. That's how it used to be. Now since we've got computers and whatnot, we've got algorithms, we've got indicators that are essentially equations that take price action and turn it into an indicator. Similarly, with the EMA 200 as an example, the EMA, we can draw out the EMA here, can't we? Isn't the EMA like a mid-range? Instead of horizontal, we draw it in a curve. So the EMA would work like this. Isn't that what the EMA would look like? Isn't that what it would look like if we did the EMA? If we plotted it out, that is. Obviously, this is a rough guess, but that's what it would look like. So, the reason I use price action, I'll use indicators sometimes for confluence. Maybe I'll sometimes look at volume. Maybe sometimes I'll look at EMAs as well, just to look at the trend and get the overall trend narrative. But ultimately, as long as you know your price action, you shouldn't really need to use any indicators for your trading. Okay, Trader SC never uses any indicators, and I learned from him. All credit goes to him, really, along with XO and a few others. Most of the credit goes to Trader SC. He doesn't, therefore I'm not going to. And you know what? If you've been watching the NJ show for the last 2 weeks, our trades have been pretty good, haven't they? They have been pretty freaking good. I'm in a good mood today. Okay, the plans have been following. All we need is TRX to follow suit now, and we're good. We're good. Halal beers on a Friday. All right, beers are on me on a Friday. Halal ones, that is. So look, moving on. Oh, we've got 32 people here. Thank you for joining the show, everybody. Appreciate you. Can we smash the likes up if that's all right with you guys? Get a little like spike on the stream. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who are joining, we've just covered Bitcoin. We've been doing a intense analysis on Bitcoin over the last sort of 25 minutes, covering different plans that we have for the market going into the rest of the week and the weekend and potentially the beginning of next week. If you don't already know as well, this episode is sponsored by Prime XBT. The link to sign up is in the description below and in the banner. If you sign up, you get up to $7,000 in deposit bonuses. So thank you to all the people who are joining the stream and watching. And if you're enjoying the content, as always, make sure you like and subscribe. Appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. So Bitcoin is up 2% today. Ethereum 4.1%. This is what we want to see. So look, yesterday, Bitcoin was moving upwards and Ethereum wasn't. That worried me a little bit. And we did get a bit of a pullback in the market as soon as that happened, that did bother me. But today, Bitcoin is up and Ethereum is pushing up as well. So that's good. That's very good. Is the rest of the market following suit? Is the rest of the market following suit? So we've got XRP at 2% pretty much. Cardano at 2%, Solana at 3%. Given that Solana was up 4 or 5% yesterday, it's up 3% today. That's good. It means the market is following suit. Doge is up 3%, Polkadot 2%, and Tron is down 0.06%. The one trade that I want to take is down though. I think it will do well. This is not an emotional response. I think it will do well. For those of you who don't know, I've got my Tron, I've got my TRX range that I'm using here. I do believe that we are going to get something like this. And over here is your confirmation. I bought some around here, around the mid-range, okay? It was an aggressive entry. It was a very, very aggressive entry, but that is what I think is going to happen. So look, I could be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I've got my risk in check. I've not gone all in as I once upon a time would have, okay? But this is what I think is going to happen. Ultimately, look, we could come back to the range lows here, but I think we'd need bearish news for that. That's a pretty big move. We'd need some sort of bearish news, or we'd have to be wrong on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think the plans that we have for Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's what the market is showing me. Therefore, I'm long. It is what it is. You know, a lot of people who were short yesterday have flipped long. So watch out for those guys. If you see anyone who was short yesterday and they're flipping long now, you make your own decisions as to how they do their trading, you know. Anyway, moving along. The first bit of news that we have today is Shiba Inu is launching their own stablecoin. Now, look, the thing with Shiba Inu is we've been covering this on the channel for the last couple of sort of weeks, and Shiba Inu have interestingly been transitioning from a meme coin into what looks like an ecosystem. It looks like they want to be a building blockchain, but they really want to do it, you know? Kevin says short or long. Mate, look, if you're joining the stream 27 minutes late and you're asking me short or long, are you taking the piss? Like, rewind the stream, watch the TA that we did, that I put a lot of effort into that TA, you fool. Watch the stream. Unsubscribe, Kevin, unsubscribe. You're not going to make it. So Shiba Inu is looking to become a building blockchain. Okay, they're looking to become a building blockchain, and this is very, very interesting because I've never seen a meme coin go from being a meme, having a community-driven project, and going into something like this. Now, if they can make this happen, this is going to be pretty huge. If they can make it happen, why is this going to be huge? It's going to be huge because Shibarium is launching, right? That's their layer 2 solutions, Shibarium. And if they manage to pull this off in the bear market, then they will most likely thrive, because once we get to a bull market, that's when the money is going to start coming in. So if they have the reserves that are required to initiate the concept of a stable coin, if they have the reserves in the bank that can help them build something like this is going to be very bullish for Shiba. I really believe if they can pull this off and they can hold it, I think Shiba will be one of those meme coins in the next cycle that will follow suit with Doge. It's one of those coins that the lower it goes, the more chance of 100x you will get. And I shit you not, this is not crypto banter, all right? I'm not going to be yelling 100,000x, but at the same time, I've experienced the 1,000x myself, okay? So look, I'll say this with my face on the cam like this. A lot of people will talk about 100x's, 200x's, 1000x's when they themselves have never experienced it. Okay, they'll talk about it, they'll do it for clickbait, for likes, etc., etc., etc. I've experienced the 1000x. Okay, I've put money into a coin called Floki. I put it in at 10 million market cap. I bought some at 4 million market cap. A friend gave me some Floki at 4 million market cap, at 3 million market cap. I bought a ton at 10 million market cap, and it went on to go to 3.5 billion market cap. All right. I didn't sell the exact top, but I definitely sold. It's made me where I am now. It's put me here. So it wasn't Ethereum. It wasn't Bitcoin. It wasn't a lot of these other markets. It was a meme token that did it. And it helped my Twitter account grow as well, obviously being one of the early callers of Floki. So don't think that 1000x isn't possible, all right? It's about being patient. It's about understanding how the market operates, okay? If you're in tune with the market, if you're understanding the stories that are happening inside of the bear market, you will be so prepared for the bull market, okay? Now, Shiba Inu the lower that this thing goes, at the moment, the market cap is still around 6 billion. Okay, so that's not good. That's not good. I think that as if the market continues to go lower, if the market continues to go lower, then this will obviously follow suit and it will go lower too. All right. Now, if we can get a decent enough entry on this, we could see a potential 10x on this. Okay, for Shiba. Now, I just spoke about 100x. I just spoke about 1000x. Why would I talk about 10x on Shiba? Why? The thing with Doge and Shiba is you need to be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Okay? If Doge goes, Shiba does a 10x, all that money is in those two meme coins. Once they start exiting those meme coins, which meme coins do you think they will go in? You know, we'll certainly be covering that on this channel as we go into the bull market, into the next cycle. We'll certainly be covering that because the meme industry is an industry that can't be. Unfortunately, look, I'm pardon my language, but you can't fuck with the meme industry. Okay, the meme industry is unstoppable, and until crypto stabilizes, until we have regulation, until we have an economy that is grown beyond our expectations, that's the only time where I think memes will no longer perform. But we have a good amount of time before that happens. So that is Shiba Inu. I'm shocked, to be honest. I didn't think that they'd pull out something like this. I didn't think that at this stage of the bear market they'd be holding 6 billion market cap. However, that said, it just goes to show that we need to be more on top of it. It just goes to show we need to be more on top of it. Okay, so yeah, we've got some comments here as well. Absolutely beast trade. Yeah, Floki was a beast trade, man. That was insane. That was insane. It was my best trade by far, by far. Some interesting news here as well. Big man saying Celsius paid off their loan completely. I'm not sure we have any news on Celsius today, so that's interesting. Cheers for bringing that up, big man. That's why this stream works. We're a community-driven stream. Appreciate you, my friend. And Tarek is talking about Shiba Inu. Yes, unfortunately, we're not in that market right now, but I am holding all of my Shiba tokens. I've not sold a single Shiba token. I'm holding all of them. I think that will do well as well. Why? Because I'm aware of what the team are doing. The team are building in the background. They're not throwing their money away. They're saving these reserves for when the time is right, and they will support their community in doing so. Now, that's what I believe anyway. Of course, that could change tomorrow. I'll ride Shiba to zero. If it needs to go to zero for me to be wrong, I'll ride it to zero. It's the risk that I've put in play. It's the risk I've put in check. I don't really want to be shilling meme coins at the moment, not in this particular part of the market. Not when we have setups that Bitcoin and Ethereum are giving us, Tron is giving us, etc., etc. You know what I mean? So we don't need to talk about shilling meme coins now. So Shiba, well done to Shiba. No tricks, only treats. Amazing. They're launching a new token as well to go along with this. We'll see how it goes. Bit interesting though how this guy's name is Shaitoshi. Shite. Is it Shite for short? How's it going, Shite? Anyway, moving along. So Elon Musk. You can't really have a crypto stream without this brother's name on, can you? Elon Musk, he bought this company, right, called the Boring Company. I don't know if you guys know about that. The Boring Company. Anyway, this company is the equivalent of Uber, all right? It's the equivalent of a cab company, and he's accepting Doge for those loop rides. So instead of calling it Uber rides, you'd be calling it loop rides. Instead of a shitty looking Honda that comes and picks you up, it's going to be a Tesla that comes and picks you up. You know, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. So Elon Musk doing this, again, it's just more bullish. It's just more bullish for the meme industry. Put the pieces of the puzzle together. Doge, Shiba, when the next market, when money comes into the next cycle, where do you think that money is going to go? Do you know how many people in the crypto market believe that Doge is going to be the next Bitcoin? Do you know how many people believe that XRP is going to be the next Bitcoin? It's sometimes not that difficult to follow the smart money. All right? Sometimes it's better to follow the dumb money. Sometimes. All right? Only in a bull market. Okay? So Shiba, Doge, we've got very bullish news for them. They are working hard in the heart of the bear market. If you think about it, look where we are for Bitcoin right now. Look where we are for Bitcoin right now. How ugly does that look? Does that not look like an ugly chart? Even if I remove the lines, it still looks, oh goodness gracious, hold on, sorry lads and gals. If I remove these lines, does that not look like an ugly chart? Does that not scream get out? Does that not scream I want to leave crypto? But even so, Doge and Shiba, there are things happening in the background, not just for those coins, but for other coins as well. And I will be looking to release a video, 3 altcoins that will survive in this bear market and that could potentially give you 100x in the next bull market, or maybe just a bit less or a bit more. We'll find out. The more x's that are available to be made in a project, the more risk that there's going to be in that project, the more chances that this project can go to zero. But there are going to be some plays out there like Solana, like Shiba, where I think the 10x would be a safer play. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Can we get a little like spike, guys? A little like spike. Get me to at least 30 likes. I appreciate all of you. Get me to 30 likes. Just a little like spike to support the stream. Okie dokie. So Korea and US agree to share investigation data on Terra. Now look, Luna is something that we've been discussing on this channel for a while now. We don't really support Luna on this channel. So if you're somebody who supports Luna, then you're in the wrong place, because we don't ever say anything good about Luna on this channel. I would love to get DOGECOIN on this channel. The chances of that happening are extremely slim. But, I know that he wouldn't have watched my previous videos. So if we could get DOGECOIN on this channel, we could fully interrogate the shit out of him on this channel, and he'd just probably run away. That would be funny. That would be super funny. But Korea and the US are now joining forces to investigate DOGECOIN and his crimes with Luna, what he's done with Luna. The $40 billion Terra ecosystem crash has attracted legal scrutiny, So yeah, I agree. DOGECOIN does need to go to jail. It is. And I like this comment here that we have here as well from AM that says the Elon plan is insane. I agree. I certainly agree. Elon is a very, very interesting individual. And I think people aren't smart enough to understand what he's doing. He's a very awkward individual, but it's always the most awkward guys that tend to produce the most bizarre and phenomenal results. Moving along, the bear market has wiped out 25 cryptocurrency exchanges in the last 30 days, and we've been covering that on this channel. All right. The bear market has in fact wiped out many exchanges. Yesterday on this stream, we were talking about Voyager and how they filed for bankruptcy. 2 streams before that, so it was today's Thursday, yesterday Wednesday. So on Tuesday, we were talking about how 3 Arrows owed Voyager X amount of money, right? And on the stream, we said we wouldn't be surprised if Voyager filed for bankruptcy in the coming weeks. Yeah? Funnily enough, less than 24 hours, we were on the same stream talking about how Voyager had filed for bankruptcy, and a lot of exchanges are feeling it. They're feeling it badly. This is the heart of the bear market. I'm not saying the worst has happened yet, but we've experienced a majority of the worst. Okay, so if we're saying 100% of the worst, I would say we're 80% there. Okay, we have to be. Unless this thing is going to zero, I'm happy to argue or debate with anybody. Okay, you're all entitled to your own opinions, but I'm happy to debate with anybody that we're not that far from the low. Okay, just one more little thingamabob. Back to the Coinbase chart, because that's a clean chart. If we're looking at it from a price action perspective, if we're looking at it from a basic price action perspective, it's very simple. You've got a range level here, and you've got a range level here. Okay? Range high, range low, range low. This is the mid-range here, or your EMA if you want to call it. Okay? Now, we've pushed above, and we've come back, and we've retested it. If this was a 5-minute chart, you talk to me. You tell me in the chat, if this was a 5-minute chart, what would you think of this? In fact, let me ask you a question. Let me show you guys one thing. Let me show you guys one thing. Look at this, yeah, look at this. Before 20K happened, yeah, you've got range high, range low. Let's drag these out. If this is a range, if this little bit of price action here is a range as well, then what did the COVID spike do? When we were during this COVID spike here, do you know how many people were yelling it's over? People were yelling it's over, like it's finished. Bitcoin is finished. All right. All this was a freaking retest. Push above, retest. Push above, push above, retest. So it's very difficult to say now that we're going to zero, we're going to 5K, we're going to 6K, 10K. It's very difficult to do it. I can see many scenarios for 10K. I can see many scenarios for 10K, but at the same time, it's arguable that the worst is nearly over. All right, the worst is in fact nearly over, because a few weeks ago we were at 40K. Yeah, it's important to remember that we were in fact at 40K. So, there's a lot of arguments to be made on both sides, but for me, I've got many arguments for the upside. We need to consolidate. We need to take time. I know it's not going to happen overnight, but it's arguable that we are nearing the lows. All right, and bears are euphoric. Okay, if 69K was euphoric for us, then 20K is euphoric for bears. You guys know, you're all over Twitter. You see how happy bears are, and if anybody goes long now, people are frustrated by hearing that. The general consensus, the contrarian view is to go long. So I'll leave you guys to ponder on that. Well, we'll move on from here, but the bear market has in fact done the damage that it's looking to do. Everybody's feeling it. Nobody's really making money in this market. And the longer that we don't make money, the more of a chance that the low is in. Okay? Because if we're not making money, if we're not giving money back to the market, if the money's not taking our money, if the market is not taking our money, nobody's making money, then it's time for us to range and consolidate until it's time to start pushing back up. All right? We've done a massive part of the move. Okay? We're at 39 likes now. There we go. I love you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. Smash me up to 40 if you can. I really do appreciate it. You guys are legends. Yeah? Moving along. So look, this is one of the things that we do in bear markets, all right? This is one of the things that happen in bear markets. Crypto exchange Bitstamp to charge inactive accounts a fee. So look, bear market is wiping out exchanges. Bear market is hurting everybody. Look, you know that when exchanges are not making money, you know that the bear market has really frigging hit, because the exchanges are typically one solution, one form of crypto that doesn't usually get hit as much. So in the bull market, they make a ton of money because there's a ton of trading. In the bear market, although they're not making as much as the bull market, they've still got a good flow of income. All right, because people are still trading. People trade every day. All the people that are joining the stream today, you're all trading, aren't you? So it looks like exchanges now, as much as they're being hit, they're now looking to start charging fees. Bitstamp looking to charge fees. I mean, I don't really use Bitstamp. Does anybody else here use Bitstamp? I'm not sure. I don't really know anybody who uses Bitstamp. I think Bitstamp is more of a where is Bitstamp? What country is Bitstamp in? I know people in that country use Bitstamp. I don't want to say it off the top of my head because I don't know it, but I'll figure that out for you guys later. So look, it says here, the majority of Bitstamp's customers are not affected by inactivity fees because they're not inactive, but nobody loves fees. We don't either. But keeping an active account on the books is a cost, and in order for us to continue providing great service to all our customers, we made the hard decision to implement inactive fees. So I mean, we're going to see more of these things. We're going to see more of these things, and I'm sure that as we sort of go into the bull market, one of the bullish pieces of news that we're going to get in the bull market as we exit the bear market, we're going to see things like this being removed. All right. So, I mean, this is just one of those things, informative pretty much, but at the same time, it's one of those pieces of news that you're going to be looking out for when the bear market finishes. All right. Bitstamp removing fees. Well, we already knew that. We watched the NJ show. We already knew that. Moving along, we've got some information here on SAM, FTX. Okay. Now, this is bullish as fuck as well. I mean, look what he says here. Crypto exchange FTX has a few billion to support the industry. Okay, a few billion. That is not a small amount, and it's going to push me into the next article we have here now. FTX having a few billion. What does that mean? Number one, the first thing that means is that FTX is not going anywhere. FTX is going to stay. They will be able to survive the bear market, and they are looking to fight for a number one spot in terms of the spot volume exchanges, the margin exchanges. FTX will fight Binance very hard in the next cycle to claim as many users as possible. I know a lot of people in the last cycle who moved over to FTX until Binance fixed up their futures. A lot of people moved over to FTX. It was a very competitive environment, and here we're seeing that FTX aren't giving up. So any tokens that are associated with SAM, any tokens that are associated with this guy, I'm going to be, as it stands today, I'm going to be keeping a heavy eye on them, because in the next cycle, this guy has all the resources required to get that token sent. Okay, all he needs to do, the trick behind what he does is he makes you feel like a whale. All right, if you're buying Solana at $1, might not be worth much today, might be worth, I don't know, 10 grand today. At $240, however, it's worth 2.4 mil. So, and it's the same set of tokens that you bought for 10k. So he does have the ability to make you feel like a whale, and as long as we see more information like this coming out, I'm not really worried about FTX and the tokens that are associated with SBF. Okay, so we are going to be covering them on this channel as well. You never know, maybe they make their own ecosystem too. And we got a comment here as well. It says, I don't like trading on FTX futures, feels clunky to me. Yeah, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I like opinions. I love opinions, and I love opinions, and I love opinions. So I like that. But moving along, again, SBF news. He owes bankrupt Voyager 377 million. Now, look, the thing with Voyager is, what I don't understand is, if they've gone bankrupt now, does that mean that nobody owes them money anymore? So, for instance, right, if Three Arrows owe Voyager 670 million and Sam owes Voyager 370 million, we're talking just over $1 billion there, north of $1 billion, So if we're talking north of $1 billion, then what happens if they get that billy? So if they file for bankruptcy now, are they going to get their money back? I'm not sure how Chapter 11 bankruptcy works. That's the honest truth. I don't know how it works. And my argument would be that, well, hold on a second. If they're not if they're not operating anymore, if their exchange has gone down, they've stopped withdrawals. I'm not sure how many people were affected by that, but if they've done all of that in order to save the company, then I would imagine that SBF and 3AC would still owe them that money. But if they've cancelled everything and they've gone bankrupt and they're not giving anybody their money back from the withdrawals and whatnot, where does this money go? I'm pretty sure it would end up in the pockets of the founders of Voyager. So I'm not too bullish on this. I hope Sam doesn't really pay it. It doesn't really affect us anyway, does it? But hopefully this works out in the right fashion. I don't want to see SBF losing money. CZ and SBF, I don't want to see them losing money. I want their portfolios to grow. The more their portfolios grow, the more of an economy they'll have in the future. Binance in 2021, it wasn't just about BNB anymore. It was about BSC and all the tokens that were being launched on BSC. Now, albeit that doesn't sound like much today, BSC tokens have all gone to zero. I appreciate that, but at the beginning of the cycle, there were a lot of tokens launching on BSC that were doing phenomenal, and there was a period of time where BSC launches were kind of the hot topic. So when it comes to FTX, when it comes to CZ, We don't want to see things like this. Okay, so maybe because they've gone bankrupt now, maybe they've actually filed for the bankruptcy, it might just be a simple waiting game in order to stop these guys from getting that money. So we'll see what happens. Moving along, CZ here with his big dick energy. He's saying, no worries. We don't brag about numbers. We have by far the largest reserve in the industry that we know of. The 0% fee is just the way we take care of users during a tough market. So look, CZ is, I don't know, you guys have got to tell me in the comments, who do you think has a bigger sort of pair of cojones? Is it CZ or is it Elon Musk? That's a tough one to ask. I think Sam would be third for sure. I think it'd be Elon Musk and CZ. Them two would have to battle it out. I think Elon takes it by a small bit. But CZ, I highly respect CZ. Very, very highly respect CZ. And he is somebody that's going to help us in the next market. So it's because of CZ that we had all these BNB tokens. It's because of CZ that we had it's because of CZ that we had BSC, So, and CZ was the one that created Binance, and Binance is the platform that everybody wants their tokens to trade on. So, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. I'm a massive supporter of CZ, and if he's saying things like this, it gets me. If he's pumped, then you should be pumped too. You're not going to make a ton of money today, but he's essentially saying we can handle this bear market. We can ride out this bear market because we know that there is a bull market around the corner. Okay, you got to remember that we've been in this bear market for nearly a year now. It's not long before the year marker hits. And if we've been in this bear market for a year, then how much more bear can we have? All right. At which stage do we transition from something like this to something like this? Okay. At which stage do we transition from something like this to something like this? And then of course, and push back up. Okay, it's one of those things. We are a year into the bear market, so I do respect and appreciate CZ for all that he's worth. Exactly. Look, it says it here. When Binance. Didn't CZ want to revert something on the blockchain after a hack? Says Imran. Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of BTC? Well, look, what is the purpose of Bitcoin? In order to understand the purpose of Bitcoin, you need to understand the purpose of money. And if you understand the purpose of money in the traditional markets, then you'll understand what the purpose of Bitcoin is. So I don't really think Binance has anything to do with the purpose of Bitcoin. I don't think that's relevant here, Imran. But thank you for your comment. I appreciate your comment. Moving along, Ethereum scaling solution Immutable X will allow Ether to dollar withdrawal. So this is very bullish again. Ethereum has been moving mad in the bear market. They've been moving mad with the merge, with the move from proof of work to proof of stake. ETH 2.0 has been insane. And now Ethereum scaling solution Immutable X will allow Ether to dollar withdrawal. So you'll be able to withdraw fiat essentially. And we'll read some of this out. Ethereum scaling solution Immutable X will allow users to receive US dollars in their bank accounts on Ether withdrawals, developers said this week. The Ether off-ramp is available to any developer building on Immutable. Developers can enable their users to sell their Layer 2-based Ether and have their proceeds deposited directly to their bank accounts. Massively bullish. So this could be a sign that Coinbase is going to need to step up their game. That's essentially what's going to happen. Coinbase will need to step up their game. And if Coinbase don't, they're going to get bullied out, because I think in the next cycle, Binance, FTX, and now even Ethereum as a project in itself, Ethereum, they're going to be sort of pushing out all these older sort of traditional users that we use. So look, that is the stream done. That is the stream wrapped up. We've had a lot to talk about today. So look, Haffel says, I disagree on 1 year of bear market. So as I was saying, I didn't say that we had been a year in the bear market. I said that we are approaching 1 year of bear market. We've almost had 1 year of bear market. We topped out in November, as the chart says here. We topped out on the week of the 8th of November. All right. And we've been downtrending ever since with very, very little relief. We've had pretty much one relief bounce, which was here. Okay. We had nothing that sort of came up here. We've had nothing that came up here. So this is aggressive selling. Now, if this is aggressive selling, how much more do we want it to go, bro? Do you want it to go to zero? Is that where you want it to go? How much more aggression are we supposed to have before we can say that capitulation has taken place? Maybe capitulation is at 10K. You know what I mean? We're nearly a year into the bear market. And what I'm trying to basically point out is that this portion of the bear market is almost finished. Okay. And that's something to be excited about. If we end up doing something along the lines of this, we'll be prepared for it if it happens. But if we end up doing something along the lines of this, hold on, bear with me. If we end up doing something along the lines of this, which puts us at around 15K, then for me, that would be mega bullish. That would be massively bullish. But if we do something like that, we'll know that pretty much the low is most likely in, just for the short term anyway. Maybe we'll push up into here. Maybe that will be the relief rally that does actually push us up into somewhere like here or something like that. And then the year after, we'll make all-time highs. So that's what I think can happen next year, something along the lines of this. I do believe that Bitcoin will see 40 to 50K next year without the bullish narratives. Just from a price action point of view, we have to test these areas here. We have to test these areas, all right? These areas are areas that we've got to come back and test at some stage, So how high are we going to go? I don't really think we'll get this high or this blue level here, but I think somewhere along the lines of this, I think we'll get that for the next year, And when we do get that, that'll be bullish for everyone. If you're holding your altcoins, if you're holding your bags, etc., you might have an opportunity to release those positions. So look, give me a like spike. And let me go through this one more time and then I'll shoot off. I appreciate all of you. Seriously, I really do. You guys are all legends, always coming on the stream and always supporting. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. That is the main thing. All right, that's the main thing. A lot of people who watch the show, they aren't subscribed to the content, and you're missing out. You're missing out. I go live every day, Monday to Friday. You don't want to miss that. I'm going to be doing more videos as well. I'm going to be doing recorded videos for you guys soon as well. Altcoins to invest in that have investable sort of attributes. I'm going to be doing a TA series that's going to be coming out for you guys. So if you're not subscribed, and if your friends aren't subscribed, then you're missing out. So do yourself a favor, do your friends a favor, subscribe to the content. There is a shitload of things that I've got prepared for you guys that you guys want to be involved in. All right. So once again, this episode is sponsored by Prime XBT. If you're enjoying the TA, the content, if you're enjoying the things I have to say, and especially if you're learning something, use the link in the description below, my code TraderNJ1. You can sign up to this platform and you can get up to $7,000 in bonuses. Now, I did a giveaway very recently. I did a giveaway. The giveaway that I did was for the 2K subscriber mark. I said if we can get past 2K subscribers, I'll be giving away $100 to each person along with a $100 code. Now that $100 code works when you sign up using my code TraderNJ1. However, in the future, I'll be doing more giveaways, and whether it will be with Prime or with anybody else, most likely with Prime. But even if I am with Prime or whoever, I'll be doing giveaways that support you guys and support your trading. Okay, so look, stay in tune for that. I appreciate all your content. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you all. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely day, and I shall see you tomorrow at 12:15 p.m.